Welcome back to the Frith Podcast. I'm your host, Eric. And today we'll be going over chapters 16 through 20 of Mimic Arcanist. And before we get into today's episode, we do want to thank everybody for share, subscribing, all that good stuff. Helps us out, lets us know that we're doing a good job, and we do appreciate it. Also want to remind everybody that the Frith Chronicles Wiki link is down in the description below, along with the Capital Station Discord server. So that way you guys can go on over and join in over there. With it being December now, we are getting close to Christmas and the holidays, and I don't know about you, but if you haven't gotten your significant other involved into the Frith Chronicles or Chamois Stovall in general, I think you're doing them a disservice. So, what better gift than a book? And with that, we'll get into today's chapter 16, Testing a Theory. So, I guess there are worse places to get attacked by something with a Reaper friend than a graveyard. Right, Waste even says that he is the master of death, essentially, so, I guess we shouldn't be as concerned, but still the fact that it happened. Gray ends up having Twain transform into a Reaper, and then he gets to have his own Reaper hug with Twain, and he now understands the +5 to dexterity field. He does feel guilty that he's caused all of this, everything from the gate fragments going and being destroyed, the gate happening, and he honestly wasn't the one that was trying to build the gates crossing anyways. I'm just saying, he just happened to stop it in the first place. After being attacked by a couple of these things that are coming out, Waste does receive a new chain link from the corpse that they struck down. Waste is happy to get a little bit of a power-up. Essentially wanted to test this theory out with the gate fragments being activated around Gray, so she does apologize for putting them in this stressful situation. She knew it was there, she just wanted to see what would happen if they went there. I mean, also looking back at Volk, and this is the whole millennial versus Gen Z or whatever the new generations are, going from Gen X to Gen Z and being well, back in my day we had to play with a stick to keep ourselves entertained. So I kind of feel like she shouldn't be as apologetic. It's a different time frame. Helmuth does debate what her dad would do to see if she should let Waste clean up the body or if she should let it be. She ends up quoting the pillar. I love it. They make an appearance back in here. And she does quote the pillar, vigilance.
Three people there. Just likes to watch. So he's just kind of hanging out, watching all his flirtation go around.
I mean, they're all adults, technically.
They are. He does end up using his manipulation to make himself bolder, but can't really tell until he decides that he's going to jump off a rock and ends up just belly flapping into the water. Unfortunately, all the fun and games does have to come to an end, and someone does end up yelling Gray's name.
In Chapter 18, the Halls of Astra Academy, shit, we got caught. Helmuth is the one that catches them, and she walks up and gives them the "I'm not upset, I'm disappointed." It's understandable, but it's like the worst speech to ever get, especially for Gray to get that from her. She did give Ashlyn a demerit. She gives Gray 2 demerits, and Novak comes through and takes the blame from Ashlyn, saying that not only did he suggest they go, but like halfway forced her to go, and saves her from getting a demerit. So instead of Ashlyn getting 1, Novak gets 2, Gray gets 2. Gray's kind of like, fuck it, I don't care, man.
He's like, I almost died, okay?
As long as you're not kicking me out, yeah. We find out that Novak is taking Gray's advice, and in order to be treated like a noble, he needs to act like a noble. That's why he took the fall for Ashlyn, getting her out of her demerit. They go back to their tents and pack up the next morning and start heading back to the academy. Once they are back on academy grounds, Leon apologizes to Gray, Soren, and Ninny that this was supposed to be a relaxing kind of get back into things, kind of hit the reset button a little bit, and he's sorry that didn't work out like that. At this point, though, Gray's like, hey, so does everybody know about what happened with the basement? Because I feel like this is probably something that should be known at this point. Leon's like, I don't even think it'll be a topic of discussion, to be honest with you.
Half the school almost blew up. Kids are going to be talking about that. Like, I don't know what school you went to, Leon, but man.
Yeah, I don't think well it would have been in our school.
Chapter 19 is normal school life, which is now, of course, everybody whispering about Gray. He's the dude that blew up the basement or subterranean floors or whatever they're called.
Foundational floors.
Foundational floors, that's it. For their next class, Helmuth is teaching. Nazbeth does ask about the elder creatures, so we can see he is taking this very seriously, and of course for that means that he is studying it constantly. They also learn about fable versus progeny, and very specifically because people are asking about their own creatures. We find that Earl Kings are born when a queen fairy has consumed her Arcanist and then throws it up. And then you get an Earl King. So yeah. Definitely works for the pretty girl.
I think that would have been something that I didn't really want to know about. After it's one of those, like, I wish I could take that back and not have known.
I could actually go without that information, but sure.
And that's where chapter 20 picks up at, still in the classroom. And yeah, I think there's probably a solid 5 minutes of them just in shock of that information. And we were told to basically read the next 50 pages of mystical creatures, their tiers and their births, how they're born, fable, or progeny. We are told that we are going to have a special visitor. And Helmuth does this so well by everybody knows him as the Warlord of Magic. I call him Dad.
It's a cute moment. I like it.
She's proud of him. Gotta give her that. Soren asks Gray if he knows if Ninny likes Raza or not, and that I think this is almost a laughable thing, just couldn't be further from the truth. I don't know how Soren doesn't see that Eggsy likes Soren, but I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Soren, if he's just worried about anything right now, and it's just one of those things where it's like, would you guys just date already?
You don't even need to date. Just talk.
Just talk. Just be honeysuckles.
Figure it out. Yes, just be honeysuckles. If Soren put half as much effort into calling Ninny his honeysuckle than he does with Helmuth for Gray, they would be honeysuckles already. Anyways, the headmaster has taken into consideration that some may learn better in the morning or in the afternoon, in that is why they have a full day of classes for each individual path, which I find is very cool. I imagine it would be very boring if you don't like the class, but
One really sucky day.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh Lord. Would you imagine having like English literature for the entire day?
The other one is like, I mean, I love gym class. 8 hours of gym class?
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me wrong, they gotta train their body, but dang, that's a lot of training. We're not Zaxxus here with our snack pouch and our Phoenix magic.
No, they're just morning and afternoon combat arts for a day, so.
I mean, I guess this is where they're not being soft on them, at least. So, we find out that Lorelai is having her cotillion. Oh, sorry, I mean, Ashlyn is having her cotillion, and it's all of us around this. And if anybody understands my reference, please, for the love of God, put it in the comments. Nazbit wants nothing to do with the cotillion. He hates social events. He hates doing anything outside of studying, so obviously he does not want to go. Ray wants to go, however, and is essentially, he asks Ashlyn, like, well, where do I get my invitation at? Where is that coming from? Somebody's trying to be polite and being like, well, we can't just invite everybody, unfortunately. And then I think somebody rips the Band-Aid off and they're like, they're not going to send you an invitation. Like, no, you're not important enough. They are in their next class with Piper, and they are finally going to start reading about the God Arcanist Wars. Nazbit is so excited, and he puts his hand up, and she doesn't even have to look up or realize anything that's happening. She's just like, Nazbit, what? He's so excited because we find out we're learning about the God Arcanist Wars. He wants to learn more about the Apoc Dragon because he wants to find its remains and make powerful trinkets out of it. It's already been done. Don't do that. Let's not. That's a bad idea in every situation. So just no.
You can't do the same gig twice. You did that once, you gotta move on to the next gig.
You know what? How about you ask Warlord of Magic or Daddy Volk that what happens with the Apoc Dragon remains and how that works out for everybody. Dad or Daddy Volk. So, this does not bode well, however. That does conclude chapter 20. Talking about the Earl King, I don't believe we've gone over that specific bestiary yet. So, Scott, if you'd like to tell us a little bit more about the Earl King. Ironically, today, Dan put in the Discord talking about asking if Shammy knew about the Shadow Daddy trope before she wrote Volt. He said that. I was like, well, you know, Akatar would have been around at that point, so it would have made sense.
These Wikios are so stuff. Here we go. Kings. The King of Fairies. And they are small humanoid creatures with features. It's shorter than a foot tall, so very, very small. And they have these wingspans that are really to peacock wings, and they leave these images where they fly. They are known for their illusions. For their trial of work, they display natural talent, so they have essentially talent shows to pick their potential arcanist talent. It's commonly referred to as a mystical circus. They are tier 3, which is surprising because a lot of other fairies are tier 1 or 2. As we mentioned, they are also fable-born, so they come from queen fairies consuming the corpse of their dead arcanist. They then vomit it and regurgitate a newborn Earl King. Quite gross.
I wonder what the percentage is of queen fairies doing this.
It's got to be low. What situation,
I can imagine.
Like, because you have to have a queen fairy, you essentially have to die before your queen fairy, and then your queen fairy either knowing that this will create an Earl King, or is just kind of like, hey, you look kind of tasty, has to eat you, find you disgusting, and throw you back up. Like, that's a lot of steps.
Do they do can they just snake it and like eat it in one big and have
some Looney Tunes just jaw unhinged? They're fairies are tiny.
Oh my gosh. Do they have a little napkin they tuck in before they Sit down at the table.
All right. So back to Earl Kings. Their evocation is searing light, so it is very bright and very hot, and it can sear flesh, as one would determine from the name. It comes out as like a beam of power. They are also able to manipulate light, so this is essentially creating illusions, so they can make people look different, make it look like they're objects that aren't actually there. None of it's tactile, so it is different than the Kitsune, but it does look very real. Their augmentation is shielded eyes, so they become immune to instant death magic, consumable poisons, other illusions, and can see through invisibility. And when they augment others, they allow individuals to see through illusions and invisibility. So, probably one of the few people who realize that Thane is following Adelgist around. I don't think it's ever, like, everyone else, she's like, oh, who does that do with the headmaster? And it's like, what do with headmaster? It's like, oh, she can see him, actually. I don't think that's ever
That's so cool.
important, but it's cool. So she actually knows he has a bodyguard. Their imbuing is regal, so it often creates items that allure and deceive, including things that enhance illusions. The aura is grand contentment, so when they create an aura, the nearby community is blanketed in a constant set of illusions that make everything wonderful. So people look pretty, plants look pretty, the wind carries beautiful petals on the air. Much happiness, much rejoice for the city. Their innate magic is that they are immune to light damage, they can't be blinded, increased perception. They also smell like wildflowers. Not super useful, but pretty handy.
Maybe that's why she doesn't need to take a bath.
Probably why she doesn't. They are Gaia-based, so they must get at least 3 individuals to fall in love with them in order for to transform to their true form. And once they do achieve true form, they get a long peacock tail to match their wings. They carry around a scepter made of bone, and you can actually see that they have a tiny little crown that they wear on their head, which sounds very cute.
What if this is why Eggsy wants Soren?
It's possible she thinks he'd be an easy number 1.
Damn.
Like, this dude never got any attention. He'll fall in love with me right away.
It makes so much sense. Sorry.
No, it's a fair point. Their true form ability is breathtaking, so whenever they're near someone, they radiate attractiveness. So regardless of your preference, you find the Earl King and the Arcanist cute, wonderful, and the object of some of your fantasies of not too distracting. So this is purely a magical mental compulsion, which often leads them to getting a lot of very small favors, compliments, just kind of nice things happen to pretty people. They are the rarest fairy and are considered to be quite beautiful. They are definitely show-offs and often bond with someone with high natural aptitude for something. They are considered very regal and almost exclusively bond with nobility or royalty. From the real world, they are based around the European folklore of the Elder King, which was the king of fairies and ensnared human beings to be able to satisfy all their wildest desires. This was a ruse, though, and they would then kill the humans, especially children. So the tempting allure is the basis for the powers of the Earl Kings. It has very much who's the Hansel and Gretel author?
The Brothers Grimm?
Yeah, yeah. It feels like Elder King very much feels like a Brothers Grimm tale. That is the Earl King, a very, very unique character, that's for sure.
Especially with it being a fairy and it being the tier 3. Alright, well with that ends this week's episode. Scott, did you have anything else you'd like to add this week?
All set.
Alright, well next week we're going to continue plugging along with chapters 21 through 25. And we'll catch you then. Bye.